up? What's up? What's up? We're going live. Another
Good.
again. We got Brad just joining us too, so that's awesome. I thought me and Callie were going solo today. Well, I guess
Going live. That's where we're going.
live. That's right. That's right. So, yeah. I mean, let's. I don't know how we want to start this. Maybe we should have more conversations about how we actually go about the show.
How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Great, actually. I'm doing awesome. Just got some new stuff going on, just doing some business building, and had some exciting information over the weekend there, and a couple of masterminds that we were dealing with. But yeah, lots of stuff that's got me motivated to start building processes and creating an actual business. So that's exciting.
All right, man. We'll definitely want to hear more about that, I think, today for sure. Can you hear us, Brad?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
now.
cool.
I don't know. My phone's really starting to annoy me.
So what's going on in your world, man? What's new and exciting?
I don't know, anything and nothing. Yeah, we got like I said last time we talked, we kind of finished up on a couple projects that we had going on, yeah, we got a new project now as we had some tenants move out, so we'll be doing some stuff with that, and then yeah, just making some new decisions.
It's cool. That's cool.
Very vague, but like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
to give anybody.
I think we'll definitely there's some things we can definitely touch on as we get further in. I'll just do the quick intro that we always I always like to do here. So anyone tuning in for the first, I think this is like week 11 or 10 or 12.
I stopped counting after like 5. I think.
Double digits, man. This is awesome. This is consistency. Every week we've been doing this. So we've been going live every Friday at 3:00. And the reason why we do this is not only to give value to anybody who is just interested in listening in on our conversations, but also to get comfortable being uncomfortable, going live, not having the opportunity to record and watch it and be like, oh, this is not good, and then record it again, and like next time I'm going to make it a little better, record it again. So we all are part of the same mastermind. We're all looking to build our businesses. And one of the things that we were getting dumped on for was our lack of social media presence. So we're always talking about joint venturing on real estate deals and business opportunities. And one day we're like, you know what? Instead of going live on our own and just speaking in front of the camera or phones for 20 minutes, we decided to joint venture on this going live thing together. So every Friday, again, 3:00 to 3:30. Sometimes we're a little bit longer, a little shorter, but it's our way of sharing our journey with all of you lovely people who are tuning in and who have been tuning in. So continue to put some comments in the comment box there. We try to keep it as interactive as possible. And yeah, this is it. We're going live.
We're going live. Yeah, I just like to reiterate too, we definitely want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you guys do have any questions or comments, definitely let us know. And you can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is @PropertyGuysGoingLive here on Facebook. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We always kind of respond to the comments, and yeah, so I'd love to hear from you. So what are we talking about?
Well, you know what? I'll just give a quick update just to keep the things going. What am I up to? Okay, so first of all, my name's Callie Braithwaite. I'm out of the GTA. I'm investing in Ontario and currently New Brunswick pretty heavily. I'm focusing this year on flips and assignments, and I'm really focusing on raising capital for the flips that I'm doing. You can reach me at the number on the screen, 289-207-5316, or find me on Facebook, Callie Braithwaite, or Instagram @GrowWithCallie, because it's all about growth. So yeah, this week, what was I working on? I was able to have a little bit of breathing room this week because last week, end of the month, and then the beginning of May was like the busiest I've ever been. I think I had about four and a half deals because just the way things work out, 4.5 deals closing within 3 days of one another, and like all over, in Moncton, in Toronto, in Windsor, my first commercial deal. So yeah, just a lot of stuff happening. Scary, but I think the fear is subsiding now that the deals have closed. Here we are. So this week was kind of like a relax week, and yeah, that's what I've been kind of up to. But I encourage everybody to do the same thing. Like I had a good conversation with Brad actually. I don't know if I touched on this last week or not. No, I don't think so. Brad, you and I were talking, and you dropped a bomb on me, man. We were talking about how I was like, man, I feel stretched, and this is it's scary, but I like it. It's like I feel the growth, right? And you just said in the your very cool, calm, collective demeanor. Hey man, it's when you're growing, you got to stretch to grow, and so maybe I'm not doing as good of a job, but when you said it to me, the way you said it, it just kind of like I heard like a ping. It was like one of those moments, and I'm like, man, it's true. Like if you want to grow, you got to stretch. It's like a cocoon, right? You got the caterpillar, it's in the cocoon, and when it comes out of that cocoon into the butterfly, it's got to work hard to get out of that cocoon, to break that shell, that barrier, that shell, and spread its wings, right? So I kind of feel like that's what I was going through, growing pains, if I can, the best way to kind of describe it for anybody out there. But yeah, man. So thanks a lot, Brad. The little things that sometimes we don't realize, the little things we say can have that much of an impact, right? And it was just, I just need to hear that and to make things seem
funny. That kind of goes both ways. You realize you're just talking to people and you'll say stuff, and it's like, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that should be impactful. But sometimes you don't realize how impactful. Yeah.
So thanks for that.
Yeah,
well, and it's interesting too. And I mean, we just discussed this as well. I mean, I actually heard it today too. It was like, you don't grow when you're not struggling, right? Like you grow during the struggle. Like if you're just home comfortable and not really challenging yourself or going through anything that's difficult, you're not actually growing. You're just staying the same, right? So, and I think that a good way to explain it, and you said fear. I don't think it was fear so much as the you stretch that everybody talks about, right? Where it's actually the good kind of stretch, or stress, where you're actually growing, and that growth is kind of creates that anxiety and kind of stress, but it's not in a bad way. You know what I mean? Because I know, I'm sure after it was all done, you stopped and you took a bit of a breath and you're like, whew, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
That was I didn't know if I was going to get through it or not, but at the end you were just like, yes, that's awesome. Right. Like, and, it sounds like you were, since you mentioned that this week has been a little bit of a, more of a relaxed week for you too. And like, just, I think that's important, right? Like to push yourself at least for a short period of time before you kind of, step back a little bit and kind of, reflect on everything that you kind of went through during that time. And it opens up other things, like, you know what I mean, to help you grow. And that's another thing that I'm doing now with building these processes is like, I ran into a situation that wasn't awesome, but I used it as a learning experience to push myself and to grow the business in other ways, right?
It's like sprints, right? We hear it all the time. You go through sprints, it's not, it's funny because I think it is a marathon, but within that marathon, there's sprints, right? Or there's peaks and valleys, we'll call it, peaks and valleys within that marathon, right?
Inclines and declines.
That's it, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the reality is you'll have times where it's like you're struggling and you're pushing through and it feels like you're in a sense moving backwards. And then you'll have times where you're moving so fast, you're just like, oh man, I don't even know what just happened, but it all happened. So here we are. But,
well, yeah, man, it's like going on a roller coaster. I don't know about you guys, but every time I'm on that roller coaster going up and it's before that drop, I get scared. You know what I mean? I get scared, but when that drop comes, it's still a little scary, but it's fun because I get to enjoy that what happens after you climb. You know, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can look at this. We're not falling in what we're doing, but just the excitement, right?
Well, and I agree with you there because like I still like, you know, we do like deals quite frequently now, but I mean it's still that little bit of stress before, you know, like, oh, is it going to close? Is everything going to go as planned? Like, what else am I going to have to run into? And I think that, you know, the more you deal with it, I don't think you really get used to it. And I think what helps you get used to it is creating processes around it, right? And I think that if you have a process that, you know, is laid out, okay, so this is what, you know, what we're doing, and, you know, these are the little markers in between kind of will help to alleviate that to a point, right? But it is exciting. It is still fun. Like you know, the whole, you know, the suspense of it, right? Like to figure out, okay, so how's this going to go? Like, you know, like you explained with the roller coaster going slowly up, and then, yeah, that's a good analogy. I like it.
Yeah. The thing is like if you're not having moments of fear in whatever it is that you're doing, then it's probably not being impactful. Like as ridiculous as it sounds, it's just like, you know what, there's you know, there's something to be said by fear driving you to do stuff to make yourself better. Like, you know.
Yeah. I agree with that too, Brad. Like, and I think too many people sit and are comfortable these days, and you know, and that's, you know, for not necessarily for their benefit in the long run, right? Like being comfortable doesn't you don't get anywhere in your comfort zone. But
you know, you mentioned just with regard to the processes, right? Like what's cool about this is that as people get to like listen to us here talk for half an hour every week, what we're really doing is we're sharing our experience, right? So with experience, we, you know, as long as we're measuring, right, the things that we're doing and looking for ways to get better, by you implementing these processes, it's you get there from experience, right? So the more experience you have doing something, the better you get at it, the easier it gets, and then the more you can build off that, right? So I think it's just a matter of, hey, you know what? We've been all here actively investing in real estate for a relatively a short period of time. So as we have more experience, we're just going to get better at whatever we're doing, right? It's a matter of sticking to it and just paying attention to what's going on and getting better.
100%. And I think you know, getting better, you can only do more so much, right, before you have to start doing it better. You know what I mean? Because like you're gonna. And I've realized this myself too, is like I end up being so busy sometimes that, you know what I mean? It's just like you don't really have time, or you tell yourself you don't have time to go and build all these processes and stuff like that. But creating these processes will actually save you time, right? Like to have certain things in place so you're constantly doing this, and this. And also if you're planning to scale your business at all, you have to have those processes in place that somebody else can walk into and potentially follow. Or at least give them a good idea of what they have to do, whether, you know, during your training period, right? Like it's not something that somebody can just walk in and, you know, you expect, or you can't expect somebody to just walk in and know how your business does business, right? Like yeah, I think it's really important.
The blind leading the blind, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like I can only imagine if I brought somebody else in right now and said, oh yeah, you know, this is what we're doing, let's go. You know, and not think about all the learning that I had to go through to even get to the point that I'm at now, right? Like, so it's, you know, creating those processes, they don't necessarily have to learn all of those things. They just need to learn how to follow the process.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about, Shawn. Everything you do is really easy.
It is super easy.
Everybody can do it.
Well, yeah, of course they could. I just, you know, I got to pretend like it's hard so I can justify the money I'm making.
Here's a question: have you thought? And I'm thinking, I'm saying this out loud for myself as well as a question. Is I'm faced with the same dilemma, right? And maybe the strength is not being the person to build the process. Maybe the strength is knowing that you need someone to build the process for you. So by having someone just shadow you and say, hey, hang out with me for a day, see what I do. You tell me what process I should have for my business.
Well, I don't know how much value that would provide. They'd just be like, surf through Facebook for check out MLS for 5 minutes, and then but yeah, I think you're right as well. And like what our plan is here, or my plan is basically I'm going to take from start to finish of a deal, right? So what I'll do is obviously you got to get leads, then from those leads you do this, and what do you do with those leads, and yada yada yada, right? So I'm going to do a 30,000 foot view of what the business looks like, and then I'm going to reach out to somebody else who is going to be better at this to build out the actual standard operating procedures of it, right? Because I think once you dive down to like the granular parts of each of those things is when it's going to take time and be kind of mind numbing, right? But to create something that someone else can follow and just kind of be able to ask a few questions here and there would be a lot easier than saying, oh yeah, okay, here, come follow me around every day, or until you kind of figure it out, right? But that might be a way to do it as well. Like, I mean, I haven't really thought about it. I think that there'd be a lot of back and forth anyway. So, I'm working at trying to build that, like I said, the 30,000 foot view of it, to be able to say, okay, here, this is the general idea of what we do. Now we just need to kind of dig down to create these processes for each part.
Right. Yeah, man, I think it's ongoing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a business isn't going to be built in a day, right? Like, and I mean, as long as your mind's focused on actually scaling and building a business and creating it, so potentially you could walk away, and I think that's the dream for all of us. Like, I don't think we all just want to be the guy all the time. Right? Like, you know what I mean? You want to be able to walk away from it and your business still be able to make money, like, because then really what do you have? You just have, a skilled person doing a job. And at the end of the day, if you're not doing that job, the money stops rolling in.
Yep. Exactly. But Callie, don't worry. I'm working on something for you. It's a teleporting machine, so you'll be good, man.
All these deals all over the place. I know. I mean, I think I should have started having kids a little younger, because I'm gonna need some clones.
Well, and I never really thought about this from the perspective, but I mean, it's so true. Like, what you're doing, especially, is you're completely hands off in a lot of situations. I don't mean like hands off, but you're doing virtually. You know what I mean? You have to have so much trust in the people that you're kind of working with to do that. Like, why don't you kind of discuss that a little bit? Because I mean, to me, that's kind of the dream, is to be a little bit more virtual as well. But the controlling part of me wants to have my finger in all these pies and make sure that things are running smoothly, right? So,
sure.
What kind of processes or what kind of things have you put into place, or that helps you do this and do these deals virtually?
So I think it's a matter of like who like, and trust, right? And then you start out with small ventures, right? So, I probably wouldn't do the same or have the same confidence or take the same risk on like a, multi-million-dollar deal, right? But we're talking like less than a couple $100,000. In real estate, that's not a whole lot of money. Okay. So it's you look at, okay, what's the risk, right? What's the very worst that could happen? Am I going to die? Am I going to go to jail? No. Right. So everything else we can handle. You know what I mean? Is somebody going to get hurt? Am I going to get hurt? No. I mean, maybe like stress, stress is a serious thing, right? So, I mean, I don't take that lightly. But as far as like the two other things that I mentioned, dying or go to jail, like that's not going to happen. So I look at, okay, what's my comfort level? What do I know that I have? Like, how can I get out of this scenario? How many exit strategies can I apply to this particular project, right? So there's projects that I'm involved in now where they're like 100% me. So I can take a little bit more risk because it's me. I don't need as many exit strategies because now it's myself. I'm the one responsible. So it's on me to make sure that things work out the way they should be. But when I'm going into another market where I can't be, I have to be that much more conservative and do that much more preliminary research on, who I'm working with, the market I'm working in. Yeah, I think that's basically it, man. I think, and I mean, if you don't take risk, you don't get rewarded, right? The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Not foolishly jumping into things blindly or in an irresponsible manner. But I think everybody has access to the same information as me. Maybe just my tolerance or my comfort level is different than the next person's, but so far I haven't lost. So it seems to be working all right. Not to say that I won't lose or that I'm not prepared to lose one day, but I'm just, I take one deal at a time, and I continue to be responsible in, with my money and other people's money, and make sure that I have a plan. Multiple exit strategies, I think, gives me more confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective too. Like because it is about relationships a lot of the time, and like know, like, and trust is a big deal, right? And educated risk is definitely still a risk, right? Like, I mean, if, like you mentioned too, like, these are smaller price points, but I mean, $100,000, a couple $100,000 still a couple $100,000. It's not something to take lightly either. However, like, I think, where you have been able to kind of do that, I think you were right on the head with the relationships, because, without those specific relationships and having those trust, it's going to be a lot harder to be willing to take that risk, right?
Here's another, someone said this to me one day, and it kind of like, I was like, oh, you know what? It's kind of no risk, no reward. Yeah. Someone said this to me one day, because I had asked them the same question before I started like investing this way, right? And I said to them, well, like, how do you feel about this investing virtually from a distance and yada, yada, yada? And they asked me, they're like, okay, you buy stocks. I said, yeah. Okay, so let's say you own Coca-Cola stocks. When's the last time you went to Coca-Cola headquarters to go check on what's going on there, right? So it's who you know, like, and trust. So you trust Coca-Cola. You like their fundamentals. You like their business model, or their whatever it is, right? And you decide that based off the numbers, the statistics, the data, it just makes sense to buy their stock, right? And that's kind of the same thing, but at a much smaller level is a pretty easy way to make the comparison, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to go down to Coke a couple times and tell them, hey, you guys are screwing up right now. I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, like, I mean, you're right. I mean, if you take it from that, like, and I think that's a level of maturity too, like with dealing with your investments, right? Like, to be able to take that step back and whatnot. And I think where it is a different situation, where it is a tangible asset, like something that you're able to, see and touch, people might be a little bit more worried than if it's in the stock market, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think that would give me a little bit more confidence. I don't know. Which,
the tangible or not tangible?
The tangible, like you'll have a hard asset that you can see, right?
Yeah. We hear that a lot. Like, there's intrinsic value, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, if the house market collapses and you need to get something out, right? You can start selling the bricks. You can sell, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. You can start taking it apart. I don't know, man.
It's funny that you say that. I seen a meme that actually made me laugh earlier today. And this guy's like, geez, it looks like the price of lumber's up. I think I'm going to start just selling my house for parts.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. I saw that too.
Well, in the stock market, you can literally lose it all, right? Or
Yeah.
crypto. A lot of people are doing crypto now. I'm not into that, but there's but I mean, it's tempting. We could talk about this, or I don't know how interesting of a conversation would be, because I don't know what our real knowledge about it is, but it's another topic that
I'm gonna go with 0.
Yeah, exactly. Because what's it backed by?
I just learned. I don't know. I would not at all call myself a professional on it, but I did actually learn quite a bit about it over this last week. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Once you start Dogecoin, Alan's commenting here, but it is pretty interesting when you start to think about it, because basically what it is that these computers are all like trying to solve an equation, an algorithm, and like guessing at this algorithm. And like once the computer solves it, then the other computers kind of acknowledge that it's been solved, and then there's a percentage of a Bitcoin that's created from it, or whatever. But and really, that's probably the worst way to explain it at all, because you know what I mean. I got a bit of a grasp on it for myself, and the idea was with these Ethereum, and now there's another one coming out. Like they have these blockchains, and the blockchains are like a ledger that kind of. I don't know if I should be talking about this for people here. Like maybe
full disclaimer. We need to put the disclaimer.
Do not listen to a word that I say.
You have your contact information. You want to talk crypto, Paul Shawn.
By the way,
please send your money. She took on that stance a long time ago.
What was that, Brad?
I said, by the way, please send your money too.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting, I guess. Like what they're coming out with nowadays is like they'll actually have what it is it's kind of something that all these computers are confirming these transactions, right? So that's why they're saying it's so much faster than like sending a wire or doing all this other stuff, because the computers are allowed to can confirm it quickly, right? Because they're much faster than we are. And there's potentially like digital contracts and stuff like that you can sell, that they could start doing with these like in the future. And you could potentially sell a house and not have the lawyers, accountants, or anybody involved. You just put it through this program, and like the contract's here, the money goes over, bam, bing, bang, boom, you're all done. Like, so it's some pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, definitely don't take my advice.
Good times, good times.
Yeah, so I mean, I do feel like we are going to go do a bit of investing in there, whether it's a large amount or not. There are some Bitcoins, or I don't know, digital currency or cryptocurrency that's kind of coming up and coming that seems pretty interesting as well, that are still at a pretty cheap price point. So
right. Yeah. So it's the same thing though, right? Like if we go back to the question you asked, you have a comfort to do the crypto, which we don't really know what it's backed by. There's no like intrinsic value that I can at least understand or explain. Mm-hmm. Where real estate, there's a physical asset that I can like walk inside, I can touch, I can, again, if I have to, I can sell, parts of the house or whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, it's a little easier for me to invest in real estate from a distance and not have to physically be in the same city, town, or province of the property itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I mean, it's there's a big difference. I think that everybody kind of says risk tolerance, this, that, and the other thing, and like they'll say like I think that real estate investors have like the least risk tolerance of all the types of investors, because it's the same thing. Like you're investing in something that's tangible, something that you can see and touch, and something that's right there, right? And as long as you're like, there's a good chance that as long as you are, you're gonna know when the price starts going down, right? Like it's not gonna be something that okay, today it's selling at this, tomorrow it's selling at half or less, right? Something that's going to happen over time. Or at least that's what we all hope anyway.
Yeah, like most of the time in real estate, it's a secured asset, right? You're investing in a secured asset. So if you like compare any loan from the bank, the unsecured loans or credit cards, you're paying like very high percentages because they're high risk, right? There's a likelihood that if you don't pay, the bank wants to know that they've recovered their money up front. So they're going to charge you like really high interest, right? But in the mortgage world, the interest rate is so low because it's secured against that asset. So they can't charge you the same amount as an unsecured product, as long as the other fundamentals, the credit and the job security, all those things are in place, right? But I think just by us investing in real estate, which is a very secured, asset heavy product, we are minimizing the risk in comparison to some of the other things that we discussed here today, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it wasn't there too, it's the same idea as like gold and other things too, right? Like that's a tangible asset. That's something that you can hold in your hand that's going to appreciate and all that as well, right? But we're all, we're all in real estate here. So, but so what are your plans here coming up? Like anything new and exciting happening for you guys, or any big plans for the future, or just kind of, toeing the line and same old, same old?
Brad, myself, and Alex are working on an exciting project in the Kitchener area. So we're just trying to in the stage of figuring out, do we want to wholesale? Do we want to flip it? Do we want to burr it? There's all these options, right? It's again, exit strategies. We have multiple exit strategies to choose. So now we just have to make sure we don't get caught in the analysis paralysis stage, right? So, Brad, are you there now? He was.
I don't know how well can you hear me?
Oh, okay. We can hear you. Just the screen is a little bit delayed.
Yeah, I'll let you continue on. And
okay, cool, man. But yeah, basically, so that's one exciting thing that we have going on, like a mutual, joint venture, project that we have going on, which is pretty exciting. We're looking forward to that. The market has done some interesting things since we closed on it. So now we're figuring the best way to capitalize off of the market upswings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going crazy these days. It's definitely the place to be. Hopefully, wish you best, obviously, on the deal, and hopefully you guys do well, all three of you guys. I almost feel left out.
Yeah.
Like you guys are all doing a deal together. Okay. We're pretty much coming up on time here. So if everybody wants to kind of do their closeout and I guess just let everybody know what you're doing, how to get in touch with you, that'd be great. Why don't you start, Brad? If you got, you might have some sound issues.
Yeah, if this works. Brad Plume, working on flips up in Grey and Bruce County, looking for the next deal. So hit me up 519-379-7911 or at brad.plume on Instagram.
Cool. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, listening to us share our journeys for half an hour plus. Callie Braithwaite out of the GTA. Again, I'm actively looking to do some flips in 2021. I think I'm at like 6 right now. So I'm on track for my 2021 target. If you want to connect with me and hear about some of the deals I'm working on and how you could potentially get involved, as I am actively looking to raise capital and work with other people, please reach out to me at 289-207-5316. On Facebook, just find me at Callie Braithwaite, or on Instagram at Grow with Callie.
That's awesome. And of course, I'm Sean Gunther. I come out of Moncton, New Brunswick, and you can reach me at 506-800-4289 on Instagram at The Moncton Wholesaler, or on Facebook, just Sean Gunther. But yeah, so if you are in the Moncton area or looking to invest or buy, sell, or invest here, definitely reach out, and we'd love to talk and see what we can do. So I guess that's another week of We're Going Live, and yeah, so everybody take care and hope to see you again next week.
Have a great weekend, everybody.